안녕하세요. 주니쌤입니다. Welcome back to another one of my videos. Actually, in this video, we're going to be talking about Korean Romanization, when you should stop using Romanization, if you should use Romanization at all of the things that people wonder about when they're getting started with Korean. So, firstly, what I want to get into, what is Romanization? So, Romanization, you can kind of see the first few letters Roman, the Roman alphabet. So, it's the system used to write Korean words known as Hangul, in the Latin or English alphabet so that even if you can't read Hangul yet, you'll be able to get a sense of how it should be pronounced or said. So, Hangul is Korean alphabet, Korean letters, and Korean letters written in English letters. That's basically what is Romanization. So, why people don't like Romanization is because it is an approximation of the pronunciation. That is not exactly how it should be pronounced. You cannot determine the correct pronunciation just from seeing it written out. Now, maybe if you also had some type of audio, then that would be a little bit better. But even then, yeah, we have some examples here. So, can I zoom in? I can, great. So, this word here, as you can see, Korean is written in syllable blocks. So we have this block, then we have that block. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllable blocks made up for this one word. Okay. Romanization tells us how these syllable blocks should be pronounced. So the first block is an. Not even the second N, just one N. An. And then the second syllable block is actually this whole thing. Nyong. Next syllable block is ha. Next syllable block, se. And the last syllable block, yo. 안녕하세요. Right? It means hello. We have pop. This one is just made up of one syllable block. Pop. B-A-B or B-A-P. Pop. Rice or meal. Then we have this word, two syllable blocks. 친구. 친구, friend. And lastly, we have another big one. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllable blocks once again. So this is 감, 사, 하, 니다. I guess this should actually be together. 감사함, 니다. Thank you. Anyways, I don't know why I went through those one by one, but just to show you. So this romanization does not really perfectly represent the words most of the time. And if you rely on it too much, it can cause your Korean to have less than optimal, let's say less than natural pronunciation. So why does it even exist to begin with? Well, obviously, for our beginners who are still trying to learn to read the alphabet, to learn how to pronounce Korean words and letters, that's who this is for. This is why it exists. Or even for people that aren't learning Korean at all. Let's say travelers coming to Korea, things like that. Just people who don't know how to read and probably aren't going to learn. That's what Romanization is for, also to aid beginners. Also, teachers often use, at the very beginning of teaching someone Korean for the first time, they might gradually start out using Romanization, and then slowly over time, they'll use it less and less and less until the people can read only Korean with no Romanization. So It is a learning aid, not a replacement for learning Korean or learning Hangul, Korean alphabet. So if you came here thinking, do I even need to learn it? Yes, you do need to learn how to read. Like, it's really not hard. It's going to take you 2 seconds. Like, that's the beginning of every language learning journey. You want to learn Japanese, you want to learn this, that, the other. First thing is usually, let's learn the alphabet. Okay? So, it can be a hindrance if you, sorry about that, my alarm went off. Well, this could be a hindrance if you over rely on it. So, note to self. Okay, I have a Hangul course. If you're still learning Hangul, if you haven't started yet, any of that, I have a Hangul course. It's free. I promote it as a 1 week Hangul course, but you actually can complete it in 3 days, and you'll learn everything. And by the end of it, you know what? You'll find that you don't even need the romanization anymore. So I'm going to leave that linked below if you want to check it out. Once again, free. Free. Anyways, something that's important to note though, like I was saying, it's never 100% accurate because Korean sounds and English sounds are not one-to-one. They do not perfectly match up. So a word may be written a certain way in Korean, but that's not exactly how it's pronounced, which is why this is one of the hardest languages to read because it's written one way, but the pronunciation is another way. So romanization even adds a further layer of mispronunciation to it. People that already speak English are more likely to mispronounce the words if they're just relying on the romanization. So if you are going to use romanization a lot, you find it very helpful and you really don't want to let go of it just yet, make sure you at least have some audio to go along with it. We had this word earlier, 감사합니다. So this right here, it even has a G at the front. It's pronounced more like a K. 감사합니다. The real pronunciation is more like this. 감사합니다. When it's read with full speed. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Right, that's another part to it as well. The speed that Koreans speak and the speed words should be said. Obviously, as a beginner, you don't need to worry about that. You can go nice and slow. And if you're thinking, oh gosh, it takes me like 3,000 years just to read one word or one sentence, just, that's okay. You're a baby. You're a baby right now, okay? When you're learning the alphabet, just like kids do when they're in school, it takes them a while. They have to sound out the words in order to say them. It takes them a while to read. They can get a little frustrated too. That's okay. Over time of reading over and over, your speed, the pace that you read at, will increase, of course. If you are really frustrated by your slow reading speed, then, find a Korean text. It doesn't matter what it is. You don't need to understand it. Trying to understand it will add another layer of confusion. Just read it out loud. Even better if it has some sort of audio with it. Listen to it and read it out loud and just try to get faster and faster and faster. And as you do that, you will increase your reading speed. Or a fun way, if you like Korean music, do some karaoke with Korean songs. That's what I did when I was starting out. Not right away, maybe after like a month or two. I've already learned Hangul and I've been in it a little bit. Then some K-pop karaoke or something like that can be really good. Even if you like Korean dramas, if you like OSTs, soundtracks or whatever to Korean dramas, that could be a good thing too. So anyways, there are a couple different systems for romanization and they spell the same word differently. So the main types of Korean romanization, This is what we need to look at because there's a certain romanization that makes it a lot closer to the Korean and one that makes it a little less close to the pronunciation. But let's go through this. So, revised romanization is the most common. You're going to see this one a lot. This one is the one that's officially used in South Korea. So we'll see it on road signs, in textbooks, on passports. So this literally is going letter for letter, spelling out. So this KIMCHI is literally word letter for this word. Kimchi, kimchi. Same for this one. Busan, busan. 친구, 친구. Word for word, spelling out. Then we have, and I don't know the exact pronunciation of this, Mikune rush hour. Mikun rush hour, older system. So this one has apostrophes and accents. So you might see these in like older books. I shouldn't put so much emphasis on older, but just older books, you know. So I'm just bringing this one up just, because it might confuse you. So for this one, this is the same word from up here, the second one, Busan. This one is spelled Busan. This one is spelled Pusan. When you pronounce it is more like a P sound, Busan, Busan. Even though it is a B, it's pronounced more like a P. So they're actually putting that in there. And when they're having something like this, 친구, 친구, is kind of a apostrophe for each little, I don't know, it's not even like the syllable block because there's only 2 syllable blocks, but they have like that. I don't know. This would confuse me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just so used to the first type of romanization. 친구, 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 friend. Same word up here, the third one. Don't have any apostrophes. 친구, 친구. And then this is the one that I try not to use romanization, but whenever I do, this is the type that I usually use. It's the learner style, pronunciation based. This one is not official, but it's designed to be easy to read, especially for beginners. So this is the first word we had earlier. 안녕하세요. So this gets split up like this. Sometimes when there's a lot of syllables, you might split it up. 안녕하세요. Right? Another thing I do with my romanization sometimes, I make it closer to the pronunciation than to what's written, So kind of like this one up here. Even though this is a B right here, they put a P in pronunciation. That's something more that I would do just so at least your pronunciation can be closer, but it does mean my romanization sometimes just looks funky. And I also suck at reading romanization. You'll get to this point too, where you're so used to Hangul and Korean that you might suck at reading romanization. You're like, what even is that word supposed to be? What is that supposed to mean? So, we also have this word, 괜찮아요. 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 First syllable block, 괸, next, 찬, next, next, 요. 괜찮아요. So you may see Korean words romanized in these different ways, but you don't have to really worry about the type of romanization it is. You really just need to focus on how it's pronounced. So focus more on the audio than on the spelling of it. My advice to you learners. Obviously, it's a tool. It's a tool to be used. So it's very helpful to begin with. I'm not saying you should dump it immediately, never look at it, never touch it. I mean, great if you could. That's great if you could, but it does make it harder. It'll probably take you a little longer to learn how to read if you don't use the romanization at the very beginning. If you're okay with that, then hey, it's up to you. But I would say when you're first starting out, romanization is, of course, fine. As you go on and you progress, you want to slowly wean off of it. Otherwise, it's going to slow you down in the long run and it's going to really mess up your pronunciation because you'll come to rely on it rather than reading the word, the actual Hangul. Once you've learned the alphabet, though, it's really time to stop it. Just throw it away. And once you first get rid of Hangul altogether, it'll be a little bit hard. You might be going a little slower than you like, but overall, it's for the best. Over time, you'll get better. So, yeah. Later on, we're doing this for later on. I know as humans like to be quick and fast and we like to have all the progress and the results right away, but all the stuff you're doing right now is not for now, it's for later. You're learning how to read so that in 6 months, a year, 2 years, you can really shine with your Korean. But if you're gonna, you know, let this thing weigh you down for so long, yeah, it's not gonna be good. So, should you learn Hangul? Absolutely. Should you use romanization? Absolutely. In the beginning, and then get rid of it. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to put the Hangul course. Can I click on this actually? Just to show you guys. I'm going to put this link to the Hangul course at the very end. But let me read this out in case you're interested to know what's going on with this. So, free 1-week course designed to introduce you to the fundamentals of the language, the alphabet. So in this course, we have the 14 basic consonants and the 10 vowels of Hangul. So there are 24 basic letters, plus more complex ones in there, sometimes combinations. So we learn how to combine letters to form syllables and words as well. We also get a chance to practice actual pronunciation and writing Hangul as well, because that's a great way to learn the letters. Also, understanding the structure of Hangul and building a strong foundation to learn more. We also get a slight introduction to the pronunciation rules. So not only is there an alphabet you have to learn, you have to learn the rules to pronounce the words, which is why romanization is futile in the end. And then we get tips and tricks to help you remember Hangul. Because the thing is, Hangul is very easy to learn and even easier to forget. When I first learned Hangul, I had to relearn it at least once or twice because if you just learn it and then you just go about your day la di da di da and you never review or study, then yeah, you're gonna forget it. You have to review at the very beginning, or it's gonna really slip from your mind. So I got some tips and tricks in there to help you remember it. And also, whenever people learn Hangul, they're like, okay, I learned it. I can read now. That's great. So what do I do next? So I have also some advice on what to do to keep going. I've got like some resources mentioned and things like that at the very end of the course. So by the end of it, you'll be able to read and write Korean, and you'll be ready to take on the rest of the journey. So what we have in this course is a week of daily lessons with easy to follow exercises. You can go a little slower than a week. You can go faster than a week. The fastest you can complete it in is 3 days. So I can see who enters my course, but I've been seeing people enter it and they complete like 1 day and then they're like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, you have to come back tomorrow to do the next day because I put a limit. I don't want people to just speed through it in 1 day because you're absolutely going to learn nothing. So I see a lot of people come in, do the one day, and then they never come back. So if you think you can complete this challenge, set an alarm. Set an alarm on your phone. So, remember your login info so you can easily come back in, get set up, come in, do this quickly. You don't have to use 14 apps. You don't have to use a long video. You can just come in, do this. It doesn't take long at all. And there's some fun quizzes too inside of it. And yeah, so I'm going to leave this link below. But hey, if this helped you in any way, please leave a like on the video. Even comment below to let me know if this was helpful or what you want to see next. And I will see you in the next video.